Hey, let's tell them about the cemetery that, well, it's not all just in the cemetery. It's in the sidewalk and the street and all that too.
Yes, El Campo Santo.
Well, hello there, parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
That's right, we're here at the
El Campo Santo Cemetery.
Yeah, she says it much better than I do. Yeah, this cemetery right here, although you can see it back here behind us, and we'll get some more footage here, but
it doesn't stop at the gate.
It doesn't stop at the gate.
In fact, there's 20 different graves that are beyond the edge of the gate due to a change of the road, apparently.
Yeah. So watch this short video.
We're standing on somebody's grave right now.
Oh, she just walked over. So watch this short video about some history about this location, and then we'll tell you a little bit about more. Okay?
El Campo Santo Cemetery is San Diego's second oldest cemetery. It began use back in 1849, with burials continuing through 1880. It was founded as a Catholic cemetery and is the final resting place of early San Diegans from varied backgrounds, including the first burial, Juan Adams, also Antonio Gara, who was forced to stand before a firing squad next to his grave, Jim Robinson, who was hung on the property of the Whaley House, a prostitute, and some of the founders of the town. At one time, it was said to have had a brick chapel associated with it, but it was destroyed by a fire. There are 477 bodies reportedly buried here, but as over the years some of the boundaries have been moved to accommodate city development, not all of the grave markers remain, and in fact, some of the graves are outside the current walls of the cemetery and can be found literally beneath the sidewalk and in the street. They were not moved, they just removed the grave markers and repurposed the land. Others may be buried under buildings constructed along the current cemetery borders, which is much smaller today than it was originally. In 1889, a few years after the last body was buried here, a horse-drawn streetcar line was built through part of the cemetery. Later, this would become San Diego Avenue. After repeated petitions to acknowledge the bodies that were buried beneath the street and sidewalk, white crosses were eventually painted in their place. Walter P. Temple successfully filed a lawsuit preventing any further desecration of the cemetery, and in 1917 he was able to purchase the cemetery and the surrounding 75 acres and began restoration of the property. In 1933, the San Diego Historical Society obtained it and restored El Campo Santo as accurately as possible based on an early photograph that they had and some other descriptions. They built an adobe wall, reset markers, rebuilt enclosures, and placed a white plain cross in the cemetery center. In 1942, a streetcar line was paved over, leaving at least 20 graves under the street and the sidewalk, with 13 more graves that supposedly exist under Linwood Street. Now today, if you walk just outside of El Campo Santo's front gate, there are several small brass circles that say gravesite, and they're embedded in the concrete sidewalk and even right in the street. Above the sidewalk, there's a plaque that indicates the locations of the graves in the street and the sidewalk. It states, "Remembering the more than 20 men, women, and children who lie buried beneath San Diego Avenue." Only a state assembly member named Edward L. Green, whose grave was located outside the current cemetery walls, was eventually exhumed and reburied within the new cemetery boundaries. The road and sidewalk graves that we know of today exist thanks to ground-penetrating radar that was performed back in 1993. So if you visit the Campo Santo Cemetery, just be sure where you walk and where you drive.
So one of the claims here in the cemetery is the feeling of cold spots as you walk through it. Now we're out of the sun right now. It's being blocked by this tree. But I'm going to tell you what.
It's definitely a 10, 15
It's definitely
degree
a lot
difference.
colder right here. I mean, that's a little strange.
I can even feel it on my legs.
Like you feel really cold right here. And that's one of the claims is as you walk through the cemetery, you feel cold spots, which could be entities roaming around. Which would make sense. Some of them are out in the street with unmarked graves. Kind of interesting. Let's see if we could keep this and keep walking around and see. This is an old cemetery, buddy. I'm gonna tell you.
It's definitely warmer right here.
Yeah. And you're still
Shady.
Yeah, it is warmer. It's like a warm breeze. That was
Yeah, that
definitely.
was
Let's go back over there. Yeah, it's like a refrigerator, like an air conditioning door is open somewhere.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow.
And it's like a real big breeze in here too.
So something either happened or isn't going on right here. Well, there you have it, folks. Old Town San Diego at the...
El Campo Santo Cemetery.
It's just so much better than I did. All right, until next time.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting. us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting!